everybody, welcome to the kitchen. Today we're making a carrot cake. So here is my recipe. We need 14 ounces of carrot grated on the box grater, 1 cup of canola oil, 5 ounces of sugar, 5 ounces of light brown sugar, 3 eggs large, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon vanilla extract, 8 ounces of all-purpose flour, 4½ teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and 3/4 teaspoon ground cinnamon, plus 4 ounces of raisins. And here is our mise en place. Mise en place means put in place. We have all of our ingredients already out, measured, ready to go. So first off, our raisins. Here are our raisins, and we want to rehydrate them because this is going into the cake. It's going to be in the oven for quite a while, and we don't want them to get dried out. So I'm just going to put these right into a measuring cup with warm water, and I put it in the microwave for 2 minutes, and then I take it out and strain it. So if you notice our recipe, everything is in a weight amount. That's because in a professional kitchen, it is most accurate to use measurements by weight. So we usually use our digital scale, measure out all of our ingredients, but then it makes it difficult for my students to make it at home. So whenever we're creating a recipe, we also then have to put it into measurements like measuring cups. So for example, our tightly packed brown sugar, 5 ounces equals 3/4 of a cup. I'm gonna add that here. So we need 3/4 of a cup. We need 3/4 of a cup of granulated sugar as well. That's 5 ounces right there. And so I'm gonna continue getting all those measurements and have them written down. Now, one thing I wanted to mention was that pure vanilla has become very expensive. So we're on a strict budget here, and we can get, the knockoff fake vanilla. Now, these are 2 different brands. I've always, used McCormick pure vanilla, and unfortunately the store was actually out of it. But I got this Badia, and this is imitation vanilla, and it actually is better, in my opinion, than the McCormick. So if you can get the McCormick real, not imitation, then get that. But if you have a choice between the imitation, I would get this one, the Badia. So we're gonna get our cake pan prepared. How do we do that? This is our 8-inch cake pan. We're gonna spray it with non-stick spray on the sides and at the bottom, and then we're gonna line it with parchment paper. And this is the quick trick of how to do it. So I'm gonna cut this in half, and I prefer to use a knife to do that. And this is the handy trick. I'm gonna fold this in half this way. Fold it in half again. Little origami lesson here. I'm gonna bring it down like a triangle. Fold it one more time. Line up where the center is and cut. And that should fit right into the base of your cake pan. Like so. See? So now that our cake pan is ready, our oven needs to be preheated at 325, and then we can start making our recipe. All right, so we have our eggs in the bowl, our mixer, our stand mixer with the paddle attachment. I'm going to add in our oil. Lock it into place and just turn it on low. Get that mixed, and we're going to add in our granulated sugar. When you pre-measure your brown sugar, always cover it with saran wrap so it does not dry out, okay? And I'm going to add that as well and get that in. And while that's mixing, here are our dry ingredients, our flour, our baking powder, salt, cinnamon, baking soda. You just get those all there mixed together. You can just mix that in. Our eggs and sugar and oil are mixed together, and now I'm going to add in our 1 teaspoon of vanilla and get that mixing. And we always clean as we go. Everything in the sink so we have a clean workspace. Turn this back. We just need to do it at low until that's mixed in. I have scraped down the sides, and now I'm going to add in our 3 cups of grated carrot. Get that mixed together. There we go. Once that's all mixed in, we're going to add in our dry ingredients. The carrots have been mixed in. I scraped down the sides with my spatula, and now I'm going to add in all of the dry ingredients. All right, and before that mixes in completely, I'm going to stop the machine and add in the raisins that we have strained. We rehydrated them and we have strained them. I'm going to add those too. I'm going to let it mix until all the flour is incorporated. Here's our finished carrot cake batter. Just remove the paddle attachment. Make sure you scrape down the sides and get all those carrot bits. And then we're going to pour it into our prepared cake pan. Here we go. We have everything in our prepared cake pan, and then we can put it into a 325-degree oven. And it's going to take a while to bake, maybe an hour and 15 minutes. Okay, so here we are. We've had the cake in there for about 45 minutes. You see how it's still jiggling? It's not ready. We're gonna put it back in for another 15 minutes. We have it at 325. Here's our finished carrot cake. It's been out of the oven and cooling. And now we're going to get this out of the cake pan, and we're gonna put it on a cake board. Now, if you're lucky, you have these really nice Wilton cake circles already cut. And of course, these are 6-inch and my cake is 8-inch. So, we can still make do without. I have this piece of cardboard. I'm just gonna put the cake pan on top and then draw around. Now, I like to use a Sharpie to draw around, because then it makes it easy to cut out. Our circle, I'm going to cut them out, and then that is our cake base for this after I mold it. All right, so that's cut, ready, and I'm just going to use my offset spatula to release the cake from the sides of the cake pan. So I'm going to go like this around the whole entire outside, and then I'll unmold it. Okay, we've unmolded it, and now we want to remove the parchment paper, and there is our cake. So we are going to get a serrated knife, and we're going to slice it in the middle, okay? And then we're going to fill it with our cream cheese filling, and then we can ice the outside. Okay, so I sliced our carrot cake in half, and now I'm going to get our icing made. So here's our icing recipe. The only thing is that's for a huge amount. So what I need to decide is, how much icing do I need for this small 8-inch cake? So I'm thinking maybe I could divide it into 4. And if that's the case, if I divide 16 into 4, I'll only need 4 ounces of butter, 6 ounces of powdered sugar, and 1 pound, 2 ounces cream cheese. I think that might be the good size to make. So I've got some cream cheese, I've got some butter, powdered sugar. I've got to get all that measured, and then I can start making the recipe. I have the stand mixer fitted with the paddle attachment. We've got our butter inside, and I'm just going to lower that in, and we're going to turn it on low speed, get that softened up. It helps if the butter is at room temperature. So I'm going to let that paddle a bit, and here's our 6 ounces of powdered sugar. Here is our butter, and it's nice and soft now. So I scraped down the sides of the bowl, and I'm going to add in our powdered sugar. Again, we're gonna let the machine run for about a minute until it's all incorporated and gets fluffy. Once the butter and the sugar have been mixed in well, and I scrape down the sides, then we're gonna start adding in the cream cheese in chunks, okay? The cream cheese should be cold. The butter should be room temperature. All right, so as that's going, I'm just gonna cut another chunk and add it in until all of the cream cheese has been added, and I'll let it mix in and fluff up. Here is our finished icing. It's nice and light and fluffy. It's uniform. So we're gonna get this off, and then we're gonna put it on the inside of our cake, then let our cake set up. There we go. Okay. And then we can cover the cake once it's all set up. So, we got a nice big dollop right there. You want maybe a 1/4-inch thick layer of icing in the middle. The icing is really, really good. But we don't want to overdo it. So you might be tempted to put a really big fat layer, but a 1/4-inch thick is good enough. And you just spread it with your offset spatula. Don't go all the way to the edge, just go near the edge, because when you put down that top layer, it's gonna squish out some of the icing. So if you just go to, see, I'm almost going to the edge, all right? So that way, and then I'll spread it around. All right, so we've got our icing. See, I have a 1/4-inch thick, and now I'm just gonna put this back on top, and we're gonna let it set up in the freezer, and then I can cover the outside. So actually I need 2 hands, I don't want to break this. Okay, so now we've got the top on. We're gonna put this in the freezer, let it set up, and once it's firm, I can then cover with the rest of the icing and decorate it. Here's our finished carrot cake, and we decorated it with beautiful marzipan carrots on the top and sliced it ready to serve to our class. For more recipe demonstrations, please click like and subscribe to Chef Victoria Loves YouTube channel, and have fun in the kitchen. Thank you.